In the ancient world, desires were few and tangible. A home, food, a measure of security. Life, though arduous, kept aspirations within a recognizable framework. Today, by contrast, we live in an era where desires are not only infinite but artificially multiplied by the second. We no longer crave what we need. We crave what others crave, what algorithms display, what we never had the time to imagine on our own. Schopenhauer, one of the great pessimists of philosophy, once warned, "Life swings like a pendulum between pain and boredom. The pain of yearning for what we lack, and the boredom of finding no satisfaction in what we have obtained." Yet in his time, the pendulum moved slowly. Today, it vibrates frenetically. Each scroll through social media plants new desires within us. A more luxurious life, a more perfect body, a louder form of happiness. Modern life is a perfect machine designed to keep us perpetually dissatisfied. For Schopenhauer, desire itself is suffering. Life is driven by a blind will, an irrational force that compels us to want endlessly. Even when we achieve a goal, another soon arises. Not because there's a deeper meaning behind this chain, but because the very act of desiring is our natural condemnation. We do not desire in order to live. We live in order to desire. Thus, the more desires we cultivate, the more sources of suffering we unwittingly multiply. An ancient example captures this paradox. Alexander the Great, conqueror of vast worlds, who, after extending his empire from Greece to India, is said to have sat down and wept because there were no more worlds left to conquer. The irony is devastating. Even when we attain the summit of all possible desires, the thirst persists. Not because objects are lacking, but because the inner capacity to assimilate them is absent. Today, the phenomenon repeats itself in subtler forms. Influencers, having amassed millions of followers, confess to feeling empty. Consumers, upon receiving the long-awaited package, experience a strange and inexplicable letdown. Did we truly want that object? Or did we merely want something to want? The saturation of desires not only renders us incapable of enjoying, it renders us incapable of desiring authentically. Desire no longer arises as an intimate spark. It spreads as a social contagion. Byung-Chul Han, the South Korean philosopher, explains that we now live in a performance society where freedom has become an obligation. Be happy, be successful, be better. It is no longer that we desire out of necessity. We are compelled to desire compulsively as a demonstration of life itself. Let us briefly return to Diogenes of Sinope, the cynic philosopher who lived in a barrel. When Alexander the Great, an admirer, offered to grant him anything he desired, Diogenes simply replied, "Step aside, you are blocking my sunlight." This brief exchange captures a vast abyss. For Diogenes, true freedom was not in conquering the world, but in desiring less, desiring consciously, desiring only what was essential. Schopenhauer believed that the only path to diminishing suffering was through the voluntary renunciation of superfluous desires, a demanding exercise in inner clarity that ran contrary to humanity's most primal instincts. It is not about ceasing to live, but about living more lightly, wanting less in order to suffer less. The modern saturation of desires is not merely a problem of external excess. It is a profound symptom of internal emptiness. In an infinite ocean of stimuli, perhaps the true revolution lies not in wanting more, but in daring to want less.